Hey everybody, Tom Barnes, stories from the 78. The 78 being Printers Row. You know, it's that time of year we like to walk around downtown, enjoy our city with a cup of coffee or maybe something else, and really take in the decorations that are going up and the whole thing. Why not enjoy a scavenger hunt from November 16th through the 24th in Printers Row? There's a whole bunch of money to find, prizes, and the whole thing. I'm talking to Kate now for this story from the 78. How you doing, Kate?
Hey, Tom. Thanks for inviting me.
Absolutely. So you're part of this scavenger hunt, and you were kind of the reason why we're even doing this scavenger hunt in Printers Row. You want to explain a little bit?
Sure. I opened up a coffee shop in Printers Row.
Hmm.
It's my second location. The first coffee shop location is doing well. It's revitalized the neighborhood. There's four new women-owned businesses open on these two blocks. And I live in Printers Row. I wanted to do the same thing for my own neighborhood where I live. We had a 50% vacancy rate, and I wanted to work on reactivating this neighbor. I love Printers Row. Everybody feels this way about their neighborhood. I think I live in the best neighborhood in Chicago.
Yeah,
And
you're right. A lot of people feel that way. But first, what's the name of the coffee shop?
necessary and sufficient coffee.
And for those who might not know Printers Row, give them a little idea of like maybe the streets, the boundaries of Printers Row, because it's, like you say people, some say, downtown, they get really buggy eyed and be like, well, downtown's huge. So that's
Yeah,
why we have certain neighborhoods. But even then, this is kind of a neighborhood within a bigger footprint of downtown, right?
it is. It is. It's technically part of the South Loop, which is a really big district for the aldermen. And Printers Row is a tiny little neighborhood that used to be the center of all the printing in Chicago, where the Wizard of Oz got printed. Um,
Wow. I
yeah, it's
didn't know
pretty cool.
that.
In the building I live in, actually. And
Really? Hmm.
um, it is right off of Dearborn Station, which was the primary station coming into Chicago at the turn of the century, last century.
Hmm.
Um, it's full of all these old historic lofts, um, buildings that have been converted into living spaces. The streets are narrow in one way and it has a European feel to it. And it's the first neighborhood south of the Loop, so it's part of the near South uh, Loop.
And for those folks who were heading down to Printers Row, you have your coffee shop in Printers Row, but you said you opened up another one in another part of the city?
Yeah, in 2019, I opened up in Logan Square West on Wrightwood and Monticello.
So
It's
what
just a takeout window business.
Yeah, I mean, but a business nonetheless, and a business that wasn't there prior. And you wanted to do this to, like you were saying a little bit earlier, to kind of just jumpstart Printers Row in terms of businesses for the coffee shop, but you wanted to have this scavenger hunt just to get people down into Printers Row again. Because, I mean,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. It's a fabulous neighborhood. There's a lot of small businesses down here. It's very residential. It's one of the most dog dense neighborhoods. It's got a ton of parks. We're 4 blocks from the art museum and the lake. And it's a really wonderful location close to everything downtown has to offer, but still a neighborhood. And I love living here. I mean, it's, I really love just going outside and seeing all the people walking around all the time, all day. It just m- makes it feel so vital. I just love it.
Yeah, and it's important, for folks to remember to get out of their house and go explore our beautiful city because if we forget about the neighborhoods, then, neighborhoods change. And then that's the only time people seem to want to say something about a neighborhood when it changes for the worse. So go out, especially a neighborhood like Printers Row for all that history. With like you mentioned the Wizard of Oz, and I imagine I think I remember hearing that like all the big catalogs that were made in,
Yes,
with
Sears
Sears and Montgomery
catalog.
Ward. Yeah, all that
Hmm.
stuff was printed in Printers
And
Row.
there's an independent bookstore here called Sandemeyer's Bookstore. They're also participating in the scavenger hunt. And on their website, they have a list of fun facts about Printers Row and some of the history. Like Eliot Ness had an office in one of the buildings on Federal Street. where he staked out Al Capone.
Really? I
You
did
know,
not
like
know that.
the movies that were filmed in the Dearborn Station used to be the red light district, and
Oh, really? I did not know that either.
yeah,
I like it. Those are some fun facts. And do you know ballpark how many businesses are participating in this? And I do know that it runs from. I was looking at
the
the.
16th to the 24th.
Mhm.
There's over $850 worth of prizes. It's only $5 to participate.
And you have days to
Uh,
do it.
it's pretty cool. You could do it alone, or you could do it as a team.
Hmm.
The prizes are handed out in rank order, so the prize that's worth the most gets handed out to the first place winner, and so on and so forth. And it's just a great way to kind of get to know a neighborhood and how fun this area is.
And it looks like the times here that they have is from 10 to 5. Is that just so for the scavenger hunt, to be able to go inside certain businesses probably need to be there at that time. But you can certainly scope out things and then go back if you want to go and get the items that you need when the businesses are open if you couldn't at certain times, right?
Yeah, they put some parameters on the time for the business to try to encapsulate the 7 businesses that are participating this inaugural scavenger hunt.
Hmm.
But some of the businesses are open later, so their task or the thing you have to complete can happen outside their closed door if it's off hours. We open at 7 a.m. so they could come in, our place at 7, but then they might have to wait a few hours to go into some of the other places.
And you can find all that on the eAtlas app. That's kind
The
of where
Atlas,
this whole fit.
yeah. Yeah, so I had just been meeting with some recommended local historians,
Hmm.
and somebody introduced me to Ronnie Frey, who has this great Instagram account called Doorways of Chicago. It's really
Yeah.
cool. And he does some freelance work with eAtlas. When I told him I wanted to do a scavenger hunt for the neighborhood, he's like, we can do a virtual scavenger hunt. I do tours, neighborhood tours all over the city with the eAtlas app. Let me introduce you to them and we'll help you get this started and together. And they've been fabulous to work with, a really great partner, and put the whole thing up. We're going to raise money to try to brand our neighborhood. And the Near South Planning Board is like our chamber, and they're going to hold whatever money is made. So there's an option for a tip box. If you want to leave a tip, the tip goes completely to those funds. Um, yeah,
And for folks, the best way to find out information about this is on the app, right?
it's on the
Uh,
app.
yeah.
Yeah. And they also have a Facebook page. They have an Instagram account. It's going to go up there. There's press releases that have been sent out. So there, might be, in addition to this interview, there might be other articles. Um,
But the
our
printers
Instagram
roast
account. Yeah.
scavengers. What's your so the
It's called Get to Know
businesses.
Printers Row.
Hmm.
Yeah,
That Get to Know Printers Row is the name of the event, the scavenger hunt, right?
that's correct. Yeah.
Right. And then
And
you'll have it on.
eAtlas is the app.
Right, and then you'll have some of this information on the coffee shop site.
There are
The
posters up around the neighborhood, and on our Instagram account, there are postings about it.
All right, and then this all starts up again on the 16th. Is that right?
That is right.
All
Yeah.
right. Well, this seems like a lot of fun to be able just to go around and explore a neighborhood, grab a cup of coffee, walk around. I mean, if folks are familiar with the game Clue, they had something like this more up a little bit north in the Loop where they had like a Clue game going on all summer long, which is basically like a scavenger hunt, but that's, in the Loop. So a little bit south, a little bit different vibe, but certainly worth checking out. Okay, thanks so
I,
much.
I appreciate it. I just also want to add we are a
Yeah.
neighborhood becoming. And so there's an amazing Italian restaurant in our neighborhood called Sophie's.
Hmm.
And they just expanded and opened a Neapolitano pizza, flatbread pizza, that just opened this past week.
Hmm.
There's a cocktail bar that's being built out for craft cocktails. He has his own greenhouse inside his
Oh, wow.
space. That's going to be opening up soon. It's going to be really cool. There's Printers Row Wine Shop. There's Sandemeyer's Bookstore. There's this really great place called Embers and Apothecary that you can do candle making at. There's
Oh, I didn't
the
know
most
that.
amazing yarn store in the neighborhood called Yarnify,
Do you
and of
work for the
course,
chamber, Keith?
we we have a real chamber in our neighborhood. We have a really great organization called the Near South Planning Board,
I'll
and
have to
they're
hit them
fabulous.
up because
Yeah,
I feel like
yeah.
I can do a whole bunch of different stories out of Printers Row just because I haven't done many. So this is certainly a good start. But thank you so much for taking time to
I
chat
really
with
appreciate
me.
it.
Yeah, it sounds like there's a lot of fun things to do. They also have the Printers Row.
Lit
Is it?
Fest,
Yeah.
yeah, in September, and the Art Fest, and there's the Dachshund Dash in August.
Oh,
There's
lots
a
of
lot of
things.
great stuff that
And I
happens.
imagine just the holidays will just be wonderful time to be down in Printers
I
Row
hope so. I
in
hope so. Brand
Chicago
new
in general.
consignment store, cool places.
Yeah, all the fun things, and you can learn all that and explore all of that through this awesome scavenger hunt that starts up here on November 16th. Kate, thank you
And
so
great
much for
talking.
chatting with me.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.